A legendary general sits atop a city gate, calmly playing a wooden zither. The city is desolate with him and less than 100 other men. Below him, the gates stand wide open, despite a massive army of 150,000 soldiers marching toward them. The invading commander stops, paralyzed by the silence. He knows the general is a master strategist who rarely makes mistakes. Suspecting a hidden trap in the unnatural quiet, the commander orders a full retreat without firing a single arrow. The lesson is this: silence isn't just an absence of sound. It is a psychological weapon that forces rivals to defeat themselves through their own overthinking. In a world where everyone tries to win by being the loudest, real dominance belongs to those who stay still and spot the patterns others miss. Silence isn't about doing nothing. It is about having the vision to see the game before it even begins. Here we explore how to use silence, playing with appearances and reputation to defeat any rival or accomplish any goal. To truly get ahead, you need to learn how to become a ghost to those who are competing with you. Think of it like this: if your rivals can see every move you are about to make, they will always be one step ahead. But if you are completely unreadable, they have no idea how to stop you. Sun Tzu, the famous strategist, called this the divine art of being invisible and inaudible. By staying hidden in plain sight, you actually take control of your opponent's fate, because they are forced to react to what they imagine you are doing rather than what you are actually doing. The real secret to being a ghost is making the other side work twice as hard. When you don't reveal where you plan to strike, your rival has to prepare for an attack from every direction. This is a huge advantage for you. Sun Tzu explained that numerical weakness often comes from having to prepare for every possible problem, while numerical strength comes from forcing your opponent to make those preparations against you. In everyday life, this means that while your competitors are stressed out trying to cover all their bases, you are calm and focused because you know exactly where you are going. Being a ghost doesn't always mean staying quiet, though. Sometimes it means creating a smokescreen. One of the best ways to hide your real goals is to talk endlessly about fake ones. If you appear open and chatty about decoy projects or small desires, people will feel like they know you and won't suspect that you are actually setting up something entirely different behind the scenes. This works because most people can only focus on one thing at a time, and they find it hard to believe that someone who seems friendly and harmless is actually working on a master plan. By becoming unreadable, you turn your plans into something as dark and deep as the night. Your moves will seem to come out of nowhere, hitting like a thunderbolt precisely because nobody saw them coming. In the end, the goal isn't just to win a fight. It's to win before the other side even realizes a battle has started. Most people have a natural fear of quiet moments. When a conversation stops, we feel a strange urge to jump in and say something, anything, just to kill the awkwardness. But if you want to gain a real advantage in any situation, you have to learn to embrace that silence instead of running from it. Strategic silence is like a vacuum. It creates an empty space that other people feel a desperate need to fill. When you stay quiet, you are essentially setting a trap that forces the other person to keep talking, often revealing far more than they ever intended to share. This idea is a core part of what Robert Greene calls Law 4. Always say less than necessary. He points out that the more you talk, the more common you look, and the less you seem to be in control of yourself. On the other hand, people who are brief in their speech instantly appear more powerful and intimidating. When you give a short answer and then stop, you put the ball back in the other person's court. Because they are uncomfortable with the pause, they will start babbling to fill the gap. In those extra sentences, they usually give away their true motivations, their secrets, or the weaknesses they were trying to hide. In the world of business and negotiation, this is a literal game changer. Research actually shows that staying silent after making an offer can increase your success rate by nearly 40%. Most people make the mistake of following up an offer with more talking because they are afraid of being rejected. They might say, "Here is my price," and then immediately start justifying it or offering discounts before the other side even responds. By doing this, they show they are nervous and lose their leverage. If you state your terms and then just wait, you create a feeling of pressure that often makes the other side reconsider their position or offer you a better deal just to end the tension. Beyond just getting a better deal, silence is your best tool for gathering intelligence. When you are the one talking, you aren't learning anything new. But when you are the one listening, you are in the driver's seat. Stoic philosophers used to say that we have 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason, so we can listen twice as much as we speak. By practicing what some call active or quiet intelligence, you spend your time hunting for the small things others miss. You start to notice the tone of someone's voice, the way they avoid certain topics, or the contradictions in the story they are telling. While they are busy trying to impress you or fill the silence, you are quietly building a map of exactly how their mind works. Even in high-stress moments or arguments, silence acts like a shield. Think of an angry person like a raging bull. If you argue back, you are just giving them something to hit. But if you remain still and silent, you are like a matador dodging the attack. By not matching their emotional volume, you remain the one in control, and eventually they will exhaust themselves or realize they are being unreasonable. In the end, the person who can sit comfortably in silence is always the one with the upper hand. You aren't just being quiet. You are creating a space where the truth has no choice but to come out. Most people walk through life following a script. They react the way they are expected to react, say what they are expected to say, and follow the rhythms of the crowd. This predictable behavior is what creates a sort of social matrix. If you want to see what others don't, you have to look for the glitches. Those tiny moments where the reality of a situation doesn't match the story being told. Seeing these glitches isn't a magic trick. It is a skill that comes from being the quietest person in the room. The secret to finding a glitch is looking for contradictions. Cognitive psychologist Gary Klein found that many of our best insights come when we notice something that just doesn't add up. A famous example involved 2 police officers watching a man in a brand new, expensive car. While they sat at a red light, the younger cop noticed the driver flick cigarette ash onto the passenger seat. Most people would just see a guy smoking, but the officer saw a glitch. Nobody who actually owns or even borrows a high-end car treats the upholstery like an ashtray. That small contradiction led them to realize the car was stolen before they even ran the plates. By staying silent and observing, the officer saw a truth that was hidden in plain sight. You can only catch these details if you have turned down the internal noise in your own head. When you are busy thinking about what you want to say next, you are blinded by your own ego. Miyamoto Musashi, the legendary samurai, taught that by knowing the small things, you can eventually know the big things. He believed that a strategist must develop a twofold gaze. One for seeing what is right in front of them, and a deeper one for perceiving things that aren't visible to the naked eye. This means using the known facts, like the way a person is breathing or a slight hesitation in their voice, to figure out their hidden intentions or their spiritual state. In social and work settings, silence allows you to spot what experts call status leaks. People who are trying to look powerful often over-explain themselves, laugh nervously to smooth over tension, or apologize for just taking up space. These are glitches in their armor. While everyone else is listening to the loud, confident person at the head of the table, the silent observer is watching the way that person's eyes dart around or how they react when they are challenged. High-status people are rarely in a rush. They operate on their own time. By taking a 1-second pause before you respond to anyone, you signal that you are the one evaluating them, not the other way around. This perspective is what some call being a back row leader. From the back row, you have a bird's eye view of the entire field. You can see the gaps where your team needs help, the traps that rivals are setting, and the opportunities that everyone else is too busy to notice. Silence puts your brain into a default mode where it can freely wander and make unexpected connections between things that seem unrelated. You start to see patterns over time, rather than just one-off events. Ultimately, spotting the glitch allows you to fix the real problem while everyone else is still fighting the symptoms. While your rivals are confused by the chaos of the moment, your silence has given you the clarity to see the underlying structure of the game. You aren't just watching the movie, you are seeing the code running behind the screen. When you finally do speak or move, it won't be a guess. It will be a strike aimed directly at the one thing everyone else missed. In a world where most people post every meal, every vacation, and every random thought online, being a bit of a mystery is actually a superpower. It is not about wearing a mask or being a difficult person. It is about being selective with what you share. When you are an open book, you are easy to summarize, easy to predict, and eventually, easy for others to ignore. Baltasar Gracian, a master of social strategy, pointed out that playing with your cards on the table is both useless and boring. If you want people to respect you and stay interested in what you are doing, you have to keep them watching and wondering. One of the biggest mistakes people make is declaring their intentions too early. When you tell everyone your big goal, whether it is starting a business or asking for a promotion, you are basically inviting them to judge you. Gracian argued that a resolution declared is never highly thought of. It only leaves room for criticism. If you fail, you are doubly embarrassed because everyone was watching. But if you keep your plans dark as night, as Sun Tzu suggested, you protect yourself from the jealousy and sabotage of others. People cannot hit a target they cannot see. This creates a smokescreen where people focus on your decoy actions while you are actually setting up your real move elsewhere. Mystery also builds a specific kind of power called dependence. Gracian had a somewhat cold but very true observation. He said, "A wise person would rather see people needing them than thanking them." Once someone's thirst is quenched, they turn their back on the well. If you reveal everything you know or do everything for someone immediately, they no longer have a reason to value your presence. By withholding just a little bit, by being a bit mysterious about how you get things done or what your next move is, you keep people on the threshold of hope. They stay engaged because they are still waiting for the full picture, and they realize they still need you to get it. This is where mystery helps you see what others don't. While everyone else is busy trying to solve the puzzle of you, they reveal their own characters. Curiosity is a powerful motivator. When people are curious about you, they lean in. They ask more questions. They watch you more closely. Because you are not the one doing the talking, you can watch how they react to the mystery. Are they frustrated? Are they trying to flatter you to get information? Are they intimidated? Their reactions to your silence and your enigmatic persona tell you exactly who they are and how they handle uncertainty. You are essentially using your own mystery as a mirror to reflect their true nature back at you. This strategy also keeps you from being categorized. In social and professional circles, people love to put you in a box. They want to decide what you are capable of so they can figure out how you fit into their plans. By being unpredictable, occasionally doing something out of character, or keeping your private passions to yourself, you break those boxes. You become what some call a series of compounding questions. The more people think they have you figured out, the more you surprise them. This forces them to stay on their toes and adjust to you, which naturally gives you the lead in the relationship. Ultimately, staying mysterious is about self-protection and status. It signals that you don't need the constant approval of others to feel important. You are comfortable in your own skin and don't feel the need to prove yourself through constant chatter. In a noisy world, the person who doesn't feel the need to explain themselves is always the most intriguing person in the room. You are not just keeping a secret. You are building a reputation for being someone with hidden depths, someone who is always seeing more than they are saying. This cautious silence is truly the holy of holies of worldly wisdom. Many people think that being silent is a sign of being passive or lazy. They assume that if you aren't constantly making noise, you aren't doing anything. But in the world of high-level strategy, silence is actually like a coiled spring. It is a state of active waiting where you are gathering energy and looking for the exact moment to strike. Sun Tzu, the legendary author of The Art of War, gave some of the best advice on this. He said to let your plans be as dark and impenetrable as night, and when you finally move, to fall like a thunderbolt. The reason this works is that your silence has kept everyone else in the dark, because they didn't see you coming. They haven't built up any defenses against your specific move. The key to this strategy is a concept from Taoism called Wu Wei, which is often translated as strategic non-action. It doesn't mean doing nothing. It means not forcing things. When you try to force a result through sheer volume or constant activity, you usually end up making mistakes because your ego and emotions are driving the bus. But when you stay still and observe, you can see the natural flow of the situation more clearly. You start to notice what Miyamoto Musashi called the rising and falling timing of everything around you. The moments when a rival's energy is high and when it is starting to fade. By waiting for that fade, you ensure that your one move has the maximum possible impact with the least amount of effort. By being the one who stays quiet while everyone else is scrambling, you see the opening that everyone else is too busy to notice. Strategic silence allows you to recognize when a situation has reached a tipping point. In a negotiation, for example, there is often a moment where the other person has said everything they have to say and is just waiting for a reaction. If you hold your silence for just a few seconds longer, you can often feel the shift in the room as they start to negotiate with themselves. They might offer a concession or change their tone, simply to break the tension. Because you were willing to wait while they were desperate to act, you saw the moment their resolve cracked. This ability to see the gap is what separates a master from an amateur. An amateur tries to win by being louder or faster than everyone else. A master knows that victory usually comes from one perfectly timed action that hits a rival where they are most vulnerable. Think of it like a master diplomat such as Talleyrand or Bismarck. They spent years observing the shifting alliances of Europe, staying quiet and gathering information until the perfect political opening appeared. When they finally did act, it wasn't a long, drawn-out battle. It was a single, decisive move that changed the course of history because it was based on years of silent observation. Ultimately, waiting for the thunderbolt moment requires immense self-control. It means resisting the urge to show off your knowledge or jump into a fight just to prove you are there. Lao Tzu, the founder of Taoism, famously said that silence is a source of great strength because it allows you to pause and think clearly rather than reacting emotionally. When you are comfortable with silence, you aren't dependent on the approval of the crowd or the speed of the game. You are the one setting the pace. You wait, you watch, and you see the truth of the situation. And when that truth finally reveals a gap in the matrix, you move with a speed and a certainty that leaves everyone else wondering how you saw it coming when they didn't.